Hello and welcome to another episode of Ofacez. I'm your host, Mr. Mocha. Mrs. Mocha decides she want to hang out with us, but that's fine because we are at Splash Mocha. What year is this? We're still 2024. We're almost 2025. This is the last Splash Mocha of the year, December. What's today's date? December 30th. That's Monday the 30th, and joining me on the cutting board is a group of gentlemen. We got from the left, Mr. Minx. Everybody know Chris Minx. I don't know what your alias is, sir. Okay, Andre. I'm just making sure, Andre. We got Mr. East Coast Craig. To my right, we got Demetri VC. Everybody know him. And to the far right, do you have an alias, brother? We got Candy Licker. Candy Licker right here. I like it. So, on this podcast, Demetri, myself, a lot of the other guys, Mr. Minx is always aware of what's happening. We want to talk about community. Community is a big word, especially for the guys who attend Splash Mocha. All things that community encompasses. How is it beneficial? A community of guys who are able to support, educate, and what's the word I'm looking for? And inspire one another is beneficial to everyone, whether it's the couples they play with, the single women they play with, or the interactions that they have within the lifestyle. I always like to have a variety of men. Mr. Minx is a husband who comes to Splash Mocha. Everybody knows the Minxes. He's kind of a hybrid. He's able to do what needs to be done at the time. We have Dre, who's a single brother in the lifestyle. Mr. East Coast, we all know this freak. Demetri, and then Candy Licker is one of the brothers who's been coming to Mocha now for, you've been coming since what, 21?
3 years. It's third or fourth?
Yep.
3 years, yeah, 4 years. 3 years now?
I'm going to start from the left of the table, Mr. Minx, and start asking, so what is the benefit of the guys within this particular environment having a community? What does community do?
Community, good topic to start with today because this is Angel and our 10th Mocha since 2022. She came to the first one in Atlanta and it was like, oh my God, this is incredible. I want to go to the next one. They're sold out, honey. I don't care. And we went to the next one on our own hotel and day passes driving in each day to attend the event. So right off the bat, what hooked us and hooked her was the community. But me as the husband, stag, how do I fit? What's it going to be for me? Is it even going to be a fun weekend or should I just send her on her own? Those are all the initial questions. Right away, the guys reached out. The guys, I felt like a celebrity by come Saturday night's party, the black and white party, right? I'm like, well, here was my joke. I'm going to be a ghost, literally, at this event, right? Nobody's going to care what I look like, but I'm going to dress up. And I went and bought the fancy suit, coat that I wanted, and white pants, and I got some black and white, kicks, tuxedo-style shoes, and came running down, and I was putting things on, and the wife's like, leave the shirt off. So I did a sport coat, fancy white sport coat, no shirt.
You had a bow tie on, didn't you?
And I had a bow tie on. I got the pictures still. Right? So I'm like, nobody's even going to notice me. And as soon as I hit the hallway, guys were like, man, you look good. Where'd you get those shoes? We got slowed down going to things, not because of her, but because guys were stopping and talking to me. I had felt like all of a sudden I'm with kinsmen, brotherhood, was welcomed, didn't care what my role was, how we played in the lifestyle or anything like that. They're just like, this is a cool dude. And ever since then, that has continued. To this one, this is only our second Mocha this year. We haven't seen a lot of our friends forever. And we always talk about this is a family as much as it is a tight community. And we walked in, it took us a half an hour on an off night, wasn't even the event starting yet, just to make it through the lobby to get to our room because all the family, all the friends, all the brothers, everybody just welcoming you back. Where have you been? We have missed you. I don't get that kind of reception when I show up at my family's house, and I haven't seen my mother in 5 years, right? So it's really about that community thing. And then I sent Angel down on the first day yesterday, walking around, and she texted me, said, you have to hurry up and come down here. Everybody wants to see you. They were asking, we want to hang out with Chris Minx. Where is he? She said, you got to get down here. So that's that extra special that comes from gathering with these guys, like minds, shared open minds, without that judgment, without all that other stuff that society hangs on us nowadays, and just accepts that we are people who like to have a lot of fun. And that's what that brotherhood of that collection means to us.
All right, I mean that's Mr. Minx. I wanted to keep it going, give it to Andre, because you have his perspective of community, but then now, where's the other benefits? What would you say the benefits to having a strong community is, Andre?
So, the benefits really come down to the fact that you have people that you really feel like you can reach out to and talk to without the normal pressures of life of just trying to find a friend. In real life that we all live, you're going to the grocery store, you might see somebody, be like, how weird would I be if I just walk up to that person and say, hi, my name's Andre, I'd like to be your friend. You would be mortified by that, just by doing that. And here we have this ability to be able to say, hey, I want to get to know you. I want to know where you're from. Whenever I'm in that town, I'd like to get to know you, and be able to travel there. Or you're going somewhere, I'd like to be able to go there with you. So I have people that I know that are at that location, and it's just not me going in. I think the only way that normal, everyday, vanilla people can really have the closest feeling to this, if they never want to enter into lifestyle, is going on a cruise. A cruise is the only place I've ever seen where people will find a lifetime best friend. And we get to do that with not just one other person. That's normally what it ends up being. When I go on a cruise, I find this one other family, and then we're best friends for that whole time, and we message afterwards. But these lifestyle events here at Splash has been like, it's that, but it's for 50 families or 50 different people. So it really, truly sounds unbelievable. It's one of those things you just have to experience, to really take it all in, to see the experience of how amazing these events end up being, how the true friendships are. People have to understand sex only lasts so long. Even the people who think that they can go hours, you will spend more hours talking to people than you will playing with them. Because we eliminate the desire of having to lie about the two major things that people lie about, which is sex and money. Most of us, we don't have to talk about money, because that has nothing to do with why we're here. So no one really talks about that. And then we all know that we came here to enjoy different parts and different enjoyment parts of sex. And we can have the open communication by saying, hey, I'm interested in this. You're interested in this? Perfect. Ours don't match, but I know someone who matches with what you want. Let me put you on with this person, and I still really like to eat with you and still really like to get to know you. So it becomes this thing where you've eliminated the two barriers that really hold people back from having open communication, past the idea of leaving high school. So that's the thing of lifestyle that I've just truly seen that I enjoy.
That is, that's a conversation I've had over and over when it comes to the lifestyle and community. There's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it, where I can be with this group of people who I can be so honest with. The level of honesty is unreal. I had a debate with somebody recently, and they were saying that, someone within the lifestyle has an unnatural attachment to the lifestyle. From my standpoint, having an unnatural attachment to the lifestyle is not possible. It doesn't even make sense. If I have met a group of people that I can talk to about everything, sex, religion, my kids, everything. Like, think about it. You have people you've known your whole life, and you have to lie to them. You can't say, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Yeah, my wife got fucked by 27 guys. Oh yeah, by the way, we're going to the kids' graduation next week.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So now all of a sudden, I've met somebody for the first time for 5 minutes, and I already know that we're going to be great friends. I already know every time I see them, they're going to smile. I know I can be more honest with everybody here than I can be with 99% of the people I know. You can never tell me that I have an unnatural attachment to this, where I can come here and be honest all weekend. And then I have to go back out into regular life. And so what'd you do in Florida? Oh, well, I went to see the mother-in-law. I'm lying. I went to see her, but then that was, there are people who literally will go visit somebody or go do a thing.
To hide it.
Go do a thing.
To hide that they come
to say that, we did it, we've got these receipts.
Mocha did us a solid this year, though, by hosting a wedding. So now we're just told,
we're at a wedding.
We're at a friend's wedding.
There you go.
That's what we're doing. Oh, okay, cool. So thank you, Mocha.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Mocha, for putting on that event. That was a built-in excuse.
Yeah. So the concept of the community that we experience, the way we can talk, I can talk to him about extremely personal stuff. We have people every day walk up to us and say, man, I had this situation with my wife, or, hey, I had this situation with my husband. And we will literally sit down and have the most open, candid conversation. I can say it out loud. I've went to D, I've gone to Chris, like, man, bro, my dick just is not working today. Like, I don't know. Who can do that? Like, your vanilla buddies, if you were like, yeah, bro, I couldn't get my dick hard at this party. Yeah. They're gonna laugh at you. Yeah. So the level of communication that we experience within our community means that this is the most natural level of communicating, because we teach people to lie, we teach our spouses to lie, we teach our friends to lie to us. When I tell you something honest and you judge me. To me, I like hanging around this person, so I can't tell them the truth. I remember telling my wife that years ago. I said something about an outfit. She got upset that I was honest, and I asked her, do you want me to lie to you? Yes. If I start lying to you, do I get to determine whenever I lie to you? Is it up to me? Because if I let the neighbor suck my dick and lie about it, it's only not to hurt your feelings, not mine. So do we want to set the precedent? No. Okay. That's how we actually condition people around us to lie. So we are in an environment where we can be completely honest.
100% open.
Yeah. Like, this is the most natural situation. So when someone goes, someone has an unnatural attachment to the lifestyle. What? Even when I can't have sex, even when I'm sick, my wife was sick. After her situation, the Minxes came to the house. Demetri called all the time. All these people who checked on my wife, she couldn't play, she couldn't do anything. We still have people calling the house all the time, checking on her. So it was never, don't get me wrong, she's probably out there right now juggling balls. But it's not just about the ball juggling, So when I think of community, that's what I think about. Mr. East Coast, because you travel Hito all over the place, a lot of people do talk to you and come to you for advice and for counsel. What does this community, where's the benefit in this community when it comes to people being able to talk to you?
I'll say this, as far as the community, man, there is, and I'm not sure how many people feel like this. I know you kind of probably feel like this, but this community is special. If I get in a jam, it's more than likely that I'll reach out to somebody in this community than I would reach out to friends and especially family.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't love my family or anything like that. I love my family. Love friends, co-workers. Well, some of them co-workers, but some of them I can't stand motherfuckers, man. But I'd rather reach out to, and I think part of it is because of that honesty that you spoke of and everything, man. But I'd rather reach out to lifestyle community members. There is so many members in this that are all sorts of whatever you need. You know, I need help with this. I need help with that. I need help with real estate. I need help finding this. I need a plumber. And there are people in the lifestyle that you can reach out to and be like, hey, I need this. Oh, I know so-and-so. I'll see if he can come and help you out. And you know you're going to have a good experience with them rather than trying to find somebody on your own, you know. But like you said, traveling and talking to a lot of people, man, I meet so many people all over the world. And now that I'm doing a lot of stuff internationally too, meet a lot of people. And yeah, it's a special feeling, man. It's a special community. The one thing I've always said about Splash is it was even more so earlier when it was only one a year, where it was like, it really is a brotherhood. You know, we see people, and now that there's 6 a year, you know, I may see some people every, you know, six splashes or 3 splashes, but you see this person, and I may not know them, but hey man, how you doing? It's good to see you again. Mm-hmm. You know, what's going on? This couple here. Hey, it's good to see you guys again. You know, mm-hmm. it is a special, and I don't, you know, you don't do that outside of this, mm-hmm. outside of the community, man. It's a different feeling, and I'm not sure if it's partly because of what you said, the honesty and truthfulness around everything, because she can go out and fuck 20 dudes in a night. 30 dudes in a weekend, but outside of that bedroom, you still people, and we still talk and get along with everything, man. You know, and I was talking to so I was with Barbell Vixen this weekend, and this is like her 3rd or 4th splash, and introducing her to people, you know, and I'm like, you know, this is why I enjoy it, because there's people at our table, and I said to her, these are honest, good, kind, caring people, you know, and you see that in these people, you know, you talk to them, and they would do whatever they could to help you if you needed some help. So like I said, I would rather reach out to a lot of lifestyle family members that I've met here at Splash than I would to a lot of people in my vanilla life. There's not even a question as to if I would reach out to people here. I know they would do everything possible to help me out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know?
One of the things that I like that you said, and there's a lot of things that being in this type of community that we take for granted. For example, we can all talk about sex. We can all talk about how much fun you had last night. We can literally be sitting at breakfast and you be like, oh yeah, my wife had a threesome last night with these 2 dudes while I was sitting there working on my computer. And like, no one is fazed. It's not weird. Nobody's like, there's nobody going, oh. Like, it just blows right past. Like, oh really? Cool. You know, it's the best sensation where that feeling of judgment walk goes away. So you'll see people who are new. They come in, and it's like the women have their thing, the guys have their thing. The guys have this huge struggle with their masculinity. Oh, well, if I let my wife do this, what are these guys going to be thinking? You know, I don't want you to think I'm this. And then the women are, well, you know I shouldn't want to do this. Well, I'm only gonna do like 2 guys. I'm only gonna do 2. And then you'll be talking to them, and they'll be having this internal struggle. And then when you sit down and talk to them, and my wife, I love when my wife talking to new women, and they're talking, and they're like, yeah, you know, I kind of want to do, you know, maybe 1 or 2 guys, you know, and my wife's like, yeah, I've done 15. It's Thursday. This is just started. She's like, and then they're listening to these conversations, you know, with the ladies talk, and all of a sudden they realize, wait a minute, I can literally do what guys do, like 100%. You're talking to some guy who you just played with, and you get up, and he's still treating you like a lady. You know, during that session, like if you listen to my wife have sex, she's nasty. She's like, fuck this dirty whore pussy. Then afterwards, she's like, oh, would you like a washcloth? You know, and like you're sitting there watching her banter with these guys, and the guy's like being a gentleman. He's like, you want some water? Yeah, thank you. And you just walk away. That's our community. So when we come into this place where we can actually just be, and that's why I always tell people, do what feels right. You know, because we start questioning, why am I this kind of person? Why do I have this desire? Like, why are you asking? Like, does it feel right?
That's just the conditioning that everyone has been taught from the time that they were little. You know, and this is contradictory to everything that you've ever learned about, which is good about like Scarlett, you know, the Slut Sisters. It's like, listen, female empowerment. You choose who you want to fuck. It doesn't matter if it's 10, 15 dudes in the night. You still are empowered and you're still a beautiful, strong woman. Doesn't mean that just because you want to fuck 15 dudes in the night in an hour or whatever it is, you still a strong, beautiful, powerful woman. You know, but again, it's just everything that we do is contradictory to what we've always been taught and grown up to see in everything, you know?
And you know, in my opinion, you'll know your community is a good community when those things are normalized. When it's, oh, you want to have fun? Okay, have fun. It's not the, oh, you're gonna do what? Because within the lifestyle, understand, you know, the lifestyle, there's still a lot of communities within the lifestyle that are very judgmental. Very, very judgmental. Humans are humans. That's just how it is. Humans are humans. And my wife and I are, you know, this is a small bubble in the lifestyle community. You know, we are involved in a lot of different places in the lifestyle. And so it's interesting, you have different groups where you will see different judgment, where it's like, you know, we have parties where people don't openly have sex with black dudes. But like there's 3 or 4 wives there who are having sex with black dudes. Now we respect that because we understand that they still have to go out into society and be comfortable, and we respect that. But within that bubble of people we know, we'll go out, we'll hang out with these people, and there's like 4 people who didn't know that they did this and they met at our party, and it's kind of like the yeah, like secret, you know, is, you know, but we're still in that community where nobody else can admit that. That's one of the things I like about this particular community, where you can come in and like literally like there's nothing weird. Like there's the cocktail party, you walk in, the guys are in full cages, hanging out, drinking, and everybody's comfortable. Like there's like the guys come in there's no weird looks, you know, but there's certain communities in the lifestyle you can't do that. You know, you go in there and the guy's like, oh my God, I can't believe. You know, so this is one of the things I like about it. Now I'm gonna move over to Demetri, because there's a big aspect of the community that I like. Oh boy. With D. Within this community, when we start talking about the benefit to the guys interacting with the other guys, you know, we've seen where there's a lot of guys who are in certain spaces who didn't have the mentoring. So unfortunately, it takes a good 5-10 years for a single guy or a bull to get seasoned, to get the experience, to start understanding the difference between you as a couple and you as a couple and you as a couple, and being able to adapt to that. What does the community with the guys, how has that kind of fast track guys, in your opinion?
Well, I will say this to start off. In the beginning, well, my journey within the lifestyle, we didn't really have a community that welcome us, nor did we have the support from the people as well. So with that being said, going into these parties and these other conventions out there prior to Splash Smoker, they wanted your money, but they didn't want your presence. And they let it be known openly. So it got to a point where you start feeling disrespected, a novelty, a taboo, and it gets to where it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's step out of that. Let's build our own brand. Let's build our own house. But let's bring in quality brothers with great presentation and mentoring, and with tutelage, mentoring, just a big powwow, and we have a Splash Smoker. Now, yes, it took a lot of time, but we got them there. And I don't want to go too much off the rail, but it's been a journey, and it's still going for us as well. But also, I do apologize because I'm also still sick. So my bad on that.
Too late now.
Yeah.
I already got it.
But it's like a sinus thing going on right now. But this is like really, really special to me because it's been such a journey to get this platform going to where it's at. Like Craig Mitty said prior, we started with one event. We're doing 6 now. And we're steady evolving and we're steady growing and we want to keep guys going. And we want to make sure that we welcome new couples with us as well. So the benefits that we do need and we ask for is also your voices. Because it's not going to take us, it's going to take you as well. You come into the House of Splash Smoke and you get a great experience with great people. I want you to go out there and share those stories. I want to let people know that we are gentlemen above etiquette, merit, character, everything, not just a typical BBC. You know, it's probably labeled BBC, it's probably labeled a bull, but besides the size of my dick and the way it lean left or right, you don't know my character, as well as my brother that's standing and sit beside me as well. That's the goal and agenda that we try to push at Splash Mocha. You know, have quality brothers, quality substance, quality presentation, and the quality environment with quality people. You have a quality outcome and have a great time. By the time you get home and you talk about everything and your experiences, look at the pictures, you have these great memories, you will be back. Those were the benefits. Those are our goals. I love seeing the beautiful faces. I love seeing the smiles on you guys when you walk out. I love seeing you proud of your wife taking 5 and 6 dicks. Hell, I hope she's taking mine. But that's another story. But I want you guys to see that this is our goal. We want you guys to come in and see that we are quality gentlemen in the lifestyle community, and we do have a place in this position of the community. Just because we started at Splash doesn't mean it's going to end at Splash Mocha. We're still growing and expanding, and we're going to continue to. But we also want you guys on this journey with us. We can't do it alone. That's one of the biggest benefits that I see, I want to continue to see, and I hope that we have your support. I'm sorry, it's not good on the weather again. Right. But that's more of I thought you said something. Minx in the back. But that's something that's more important to me as in my goal and my agenda for Splash Mocha, is to see that, yes, this is our home, and also we want you to be welcome to our home as well. But know that we ask that you give us the respect that you you demand from us. That's all I have to say about it from there.
And let me ask you something, because you brought up something.
For me?
Well, either one of y'all. Do you feel that for new guys coming into the lifestyle, like I know people that are like, Splash Mocha is not a place for you to come if you are new in the lifestyle?
That's not true.
Oh, I want that one.
That's not true.
Hold on.
No.
Let me get the question out. Let me get the question out. Because I completely disagree with that.
I disagree too.
I completely disagree.
I
with
love when I have a new guy that within the lifestyle community make his very first experience at Splash, because the bar set is so high for him that he gonna know his importance when he walk back out those doors, or he gonna know where he's staying within the community. Yeah. Like I said, not just it's more of just the conquest of fucking. It's what he's gonna learn, who he's gonna meet, the quality of people. It's so much that's gonna be up under this roof, this building. No, I totally disagree with that, but I think that a new guy coming here, I welcome him any day.
Yeah, I like I said, I completely disagree with that statement also, because the thing that I tell people who are new is I think it's going to not ruin your lifestyle experience, because you're expecting, when you go to another hotel party or whatever, you're expecting this. And then once you get there and you realize it's here, you realize it's not the same experience, because as we all know, everybody, you come in here, everybody's friendly, everybody's cordial, and this is just a special environment here. But I was going to ask, as far as the new men here, kind of what you asked about, do you feel that coming to Splash Mocha as your first or second event, does that help Does that speed up your process? Because as you said, it takes years to be a seasoned bull as far as the lifestyle. Do you feel that coming to this event can help accelerate a person's maturation?
Give it Dre first, because he over there.
Yeah, I mentioned on this one. So the reason I mentioned on this one is because it's not just the men; it's both the couples as well. I always giggle when I hear someone say the first thing I've ever done in lifestyle is splash mocha, and I'm like, woof. And I think that it's a high bar, and I think that the struggle comes in is what I'm trying to explain to them is not. We always say it's the Super Bowl. So you went from not even playing in the little leagues to just going right to the Super Bowl, but it's more about the expectation of the difference. You didn't have the build up to see that what you're now at is so much better than anything else. And if you live your entire life with nothing but sunny, shiny days, you truly can't appreciate if you didn't have a rainy day. And that's the part of it. So once they go from Splash down to and we're not trying to be disrespectful to any other parties. I've been in lifestyle long enough. I've enjoyed other different things, and you'll have different experiences, different places. I hear wonderful things about Hito. I hear wonderful things about all sorts of different events that we won't necessarily mention, but the level of care that we put into this to make sure that the couple's expectation is being met and that the men's expectation are being met and that we're valuing both situations is not the standard at your local house party. They don't have meetings with different people to set expectations. And our bar is so high that it's really something where I haven't met anyone who says that they've been to anything that is at Splash's level.
Right.
On par, everything's been below. So once you start at the top, it's rough. I will tell you, and just as a quick food example, I can't eat Chilean sea bass anywhere. I had the best one in Mexico, and every single time I try to eat Chilean sea bass, I literally want to throw it away, and I'm like, is this halibut with no flavor? Like, that's what everything tastes like because I've had what I'm pretty sure is the best in Cancun, and it was amazing. And it's the exact same thing that I think I experience now that I've come here, and I've been to now 16 straight. I don't even play at home. I don't even go to another party because every time I go to one over the last 3 years, I'm like, ugh. Splashes in a month. I can leave. Like in 30 minutes, I'm like that. And it's because of the preparation and what we do to make sure that it's for people here and the experience that we try to make sure that people have. So that's the reason I was itching to say it. I'll pass to the next person who's itching to speak about it.
Add real quick, though, too, the community that is built amongst the men, all right? The single men who come and who attend. And again, your brainchild, your idea, your original group of guys that said we need to mentor all of our friends and the youngsters who are coming in who don't have a good influence in their life or whatever. We can change their lives by teaching them what we know and what we do. Okay?
That's what we do.
But that has to start someplace, right? So it started with you guys. Now the years have gone by. As the father, figure if you will, you look back now at like this Mocha with all these new guys coming in and all of the generations of gentlemen that you have brought, trained, they have brought their people, trained, that community starts here, which builds the couples community as we come in, right? Because there's this quality that these guys have said, we want to look out and make our own people the best we can be. That makes the rest of us as the couples coming in going, we want to be with that community because we feel normal and they're good. But then in the outside lives, as we traverse the lifestyle as it is, in whatever form or fashion it takes, these guys are putting that same energy back out into what might normally be an awkward house party that you're like, but Andre's there, and they're like, that guy, he was really cool. I would like to know him later, right? So they're representing themselves. They're taking what they learn here and the experiences they have in dealing with us, the couples, and all the interactions that they have in the Mocha environment, carries that into the rest of their lifestyle and enhances the rest of the lifestyle community. So the little seeds that are planted all the way back in the day, we're seeing these fruitful harvests in the crops as the crowds continue to grow. I just realized that the Mrs. Minx and I had not booked for our Atlanta party, and hanging on the elevator door says there's only 30 some rooms left, and I'm like, oh God. She makes me go get, like I told you, offsite hotel and buy day passes because she's not going to miss a Mocha. But it's those little seeds out there that make these things sell out so fast that you literally got to plan a year ahead. My vacation dollars I haven't even earned yet. Wayne and Missy are ready to take them because they're like, this one's booking up quick. You better get in. I'm like, oh my God. But again, this is the community that starts with these little ideas and continually feeds all the way across the board.
And that's why we have payment plans. So if you need to call,
This guy.
Hey, what do we make?
Yeah, there you go. Like,
What do we
look.
make us feel old?
I'm probably the oldest at the table, so I will own that one.
So, you know, we will. I'm gonna get down to Candy Licker in a second because he is like a perfect example of how I felt like new guys should behave stepping into it. I'll get to that in a second. But when we start thinking about the community and what makes guys and couples a great fit, at this event is different because I've always said that couples, believe it or not, couples actually train guys. When I came up, I would play with you guys and then learn how you guys like something. Then I would go and play with you guys and then be like, oh shit, I fucked that up. They don't like that. And then I'll go and meet with them and play with them and then like, wait, shit, they don't like it. And so you started learning to calibrate your male experience within the lifestyle through meeting couples, and you started learning how to work. Because when I was coming up, I really didn't have, I was a lone hunter. I mean, I was by myself. I didn't really have a group of guys around me. I also didn't have good examples. I can remember coming through the lifestyle 20-something years ago and constantly hearing those, a single guy is a dime a dozen. A single guy is a dime a dozen. Now, like, if for the guys who've been to my house parties, the people who've been to my house parties, they know every single person, every guy who's there has a very long conversation on the phone with me. Every couple that's there has a very long conversation on the phone with me. If there's a single female, she has a very long. There is no one coming to my house by chance. No one's coming to our party by chance. So that was one of the things I liked about this when my wife and I decided to start working with Splash Mocha is the way they vet it. You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, you get some people who come in like, so there were two guys out of 150 that were, those two guys were assholes. I'm like, I'm so sorry that, 0.2% was bad, but that's how the world works. But, compare it to other places that you go. I like the concept of community because as humans, we generally, unless we have a brain deficiency, most of us walk into an environment and see that, oh, all of these people are walking in this direction. All of these people are doing it like this. So the women can come into this environment and look around and be nervous, but see all the other ladies who are actually having fun. The guys can come in and look at these guys and go, man, that guy is really doing good with couples. That guy is really having a good time. Maybe I should talk to that guy. And then you start having these things where people have good examples. That's what happens when you have a solid community, where people can actually see, well, that guy's successful and he's doing these things. With guys coming into it, my Candy Licker down here, I remember his first day. Yeah. To me, the most emotionally intelligent thing, he walked in, he'd never been here. And instead of going in and making a fool of himself, he said, hey, can I pull you aside and ask you some questions? And I'm going to move that down to you and ask.
Wait. So a single guy in a lifestyle is a dime a dozen. But a quality single guy is not.
Amen. Yeah,
And I wish that there was, and I wish that there were so many other people and places that would understand that. Like, I'm not gonna call out a club or anything like
call
that.
Them out, fuck
but no, I'm not gonna call.
Everybody know I say what I'm thinking, so I mean they won't be surprised.
But it's just, and you see that in the pricing for single males. Yeah. It's just one flat fee where it's like, I don't give a fuck. You're a single male, you gonna get raped on your price. Mm-hmm. And there's better ways to run a business and do things rather than to compare me to that fucking asshole that's out there that is going to be doing bad shit. You know, so
But, you
like
know,
I said, a single guy is a dime a dozen. It's true. You
And
find a single guy
one of my
anywhere.
debates, and I challenge couples with all the time, because if you talk to 100 couples will tell you how many times they've met some weird, creepy single dude. And then when I
Won't
start
say
breaking
about
it
a
down,
single female.
no, well, those are the ones who usually fuck, that they get in trouble with. But the single guys, when I say, what did he do that made him creepy? Well, you know, he walked up to me and, you know, like he was, you know, he's touching my arm and he had his dick out in the club. And I was like, okay, what did he look like?
Are you saying you can get away with that?
No,
Maybe me.
I'm saying you can get away with it. Because I've like literally, like, this is one of my favorite experiments, like going to trapeze, because we used to host parties at the club. I will watch the ladies. I know all of these ladies. They're all of our friends. They've been to our house. They walk in the back and they'll be like, oh my God, those guys are so creepy. And I look back there, okay, the guy is not attractive. But then she goes back there and the guy looks like this dude, you know, and I'm talking to you, tall guy, looks like that guy, and he's walking around with a towel on, his dick out, and she's like, you know, I just wish he was more assertive. Like, what do you mean? Like, had he come over and maybe rub his dick on my arm or something like that, I would have been good. Like, but you call the other guy creepy, so he wasn't fuckable, so he was creepy. You know, so as dudes, if we go back and we see a woman who we're not attracted to and she flirts with us, we don't be like, bro, there's some creepy chicks. And we don't do that. We're just honest and be like, yeah, I didn't want to fuck her. You know, so that's why I start challenging people like, what do you mean the guys are creepy? And then you start breaking down, like, you know a person who had a single dude who was extremely disrespectful. What was extremely disrespectful? Well, there was that time when we were supposed to go out and he no called, no showed me. Now, this would be the same couple who's got 4 kids. I got 6, I get it. But they no called, no showed this guy and then expect him to be cool with it. And then he's a scumbag for doing it. So when you start comparing, so that was always my thing with single guys. Now, once you have a community, they're prepared for it. So I bring that back to Candy Liquor at the end. Why did you start asking questions day one when you walked in?
So I'd been in the lifestyle for about 20 years, and I lived on the West Coast. And on the West Coast, it's 2% black. So I walk in a room, it's 100 white women, 1 black guy. I'm cool. I'm like, I'm in heaven. But the problem was I went through my own personal trials and tribulations. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I couldn't go, hey man, what's up? You know, how do I do this? How do I? The other problem was you never knew if they were married or not. So if they're married, you got to worry about the guy knocking on your door with a shotgun coming after you. So I come to the West Coast, East Coast, and now all of a sudden I'm around all these black men. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm gonna love this. But I'm like, the lifestyle kind of sucks in South Carolina. So I'm like, all right. So I hear about Splash Mocha. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to Splash Mocha. So I know one name. Demetri. I talked to him for a half an hour. That's it. That's all I got. I'm like, all right, it's cool. I'm going to be able to do this. I walk into Splash Mocha, and 2 words come to mind. I was vulnerable, and I had to be courageous. So I walk in, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I got to put on my big boy pants right now because I got to figure this out. Because I was going to leave, straight up leave. I'm like, I'm too old. I don't have the body type. I can't do it.
We weren't gonna let him leave.
So I'll never forget it. He looked me square in my eyes and he said, you're a good looking guy and you're quality. And I said, you know what? Maybe he's right, but I'm still skeptical. I'm like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this or not. By the end of the first day, I was like, all right, I can do this. People looked at me like I was a person. On the West Coast, like I said, it's 2% black, so I was black. I was the black guy. Oh yeah, I want to be with a black guy, but I don't want to be with a black guy. I want to have sex with you, but I don't want to like really hang out with you, get to know you. Here, people treat you like you're a person, like you're a human being. Now I know, and so the next funny story is, a couple of splashes later, he looks at me and he comes to me and goes, who was that? I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, you put on this totally different persona than before. And it was because I was courageous. I was vulnerable, but I was courageous. I listened to what people had to say, and I talked to every single guy here. If you were a veteran, I talked to you. And I talked to Demetri, I talked to me, I talked to other guys, I talked to Dre. I mean, there was a lot of guys I talked to, and I realized that, you know what, it's not about what you have to offer. You don't have to have the biggest dick, you don't have to have this, you don't have that, but I have a great tongue. And I knew that. And for a while, I would lead off with that until I was told not to do that. And they were absolutely right, because I was diminishing who I was with one quality. And I have a lot of great qualities. Even though you may not see them all the time, I know now that I have a lot of great qualities to offer. And so I know that anytime I have an issue, I can go to any of these guys here, whether I got to call them, whether I got to text them or whatever, and they're going to answer my questions, and they're not going to judge me, they're not going to criticize me, they're not going to laugh at me. They may laugh at me, but in a loving way. And when I come here, as soon as we walk through the door, we all know that we're here for one purpose. It's to make sure that everyone else is happy. And that's our goal. You know, I don't sleep with a lot of women when I come here, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the communication part. Some women don't like that, and that's fine. I understand that, because they want to get right in and get going, and that's great. I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. I want to find out about your body. I want to know your husband. I want to know what he likes, because the husband's going to give me all the information I need to make you happy. But yes, for Splash Mocha, if you come here, you have to let everything go. You got to be courageous. You got to be vulnerable, and you got to understand that you don't know everything. And you gotta rely on your brother, man, to be like, hey, you know what? I need your help. And referrals. That's the other thing. If I see someone that I'm interested in, I don't just go around and talk to them. I do sometimes, but I'll ask the guy that's talking to her beforehand. Like, hey, what is she like? Is she cool? And find out that information that way. But Splash Mocha has taught me that, you know, being a man is a lot more than being able to satisfy someone sexually. It's being able to satisfy them mentally and emotionally. Because even at Splash, we have our bad days. You know, people pass away, kids get sick. Our fellow brother man gets sick. We got to be there for him and understand that, you know what, they're having a bad day. Like I said, whenever I came to Splash, it was like, where's he at? Oh, he's not coming this time. And automatically, I'm like, I'm sad. I'm like going, man, he's not going to be here. Demetri's not going to be here. Oh man, what's going on with Demetri? Where's he at? You know, and everybody wants to know, where's everybody at? Because we're so used to seeing everybody here. So it's great. It's a family, not just community. It's family.
I really want y'all guys to really understand that we really truly mean that we are family. We don't take that word loosely, you know, or generic. No, we really are a family, and we also say the same thing. You guys are a mere extension of our family as well. We are more than welcome to have you walk through those doors at any event you would like to. And we're going to treat you as such. We're going to let you know that you're a family. I mean, we fuck, but we family. But with the guys and everything, with the guys we are.
That incense cake that everybody likes right now, right?
But with the guys and everything, yes, truly, we're with the guys and everybody, no, we really are a family. And like I tell the guys all the time, I'm too old to have friends, but I'm never too old to have a brother. And I always tell these guys they're my brother. I tell them I love them from the moment they walk in to the moment that we leave. You know, you would not leave my presence from a hug and a handshake when we part ways, because I'm gonna look forward to seeing you again. And just like Ken Licka said, we always check up with each other. Even myself, I have a lot of questions. I don't know everything. The lifestyle community is evolving. Sometimes it get right past me that I have to call my brothers to catch me back up. I stay humble in that nature. So our older guys are great. Thank you and the respect for that as well. But these guys truly are my brothers. They are.
And we definitely challenge each other. One of the reasons that I wanted Candy Licker to talk is because he represents a piece of guys that most people don't see. Okay. He's speaking truth. I remember he said to me one day, we're talking about something. He was like, well, you don't get rejected. The fuck? Remember this, everybody. I don't get rejected, okay? When I come asking. So, I'm joking. But that the beauty of that was like, no, I do get rejected. We all get rejected. That's just
We all
and,
get it.
And I've told couples many times, like you'll have couples come in and they're like, well, the guys won't come and speak to me. Like, I'm nervous too.
Yep.
Like I am nervous too. Like there's, I've had, a couple of women like, well, I just thought you didn't like me. And I'm like, well, like you think that I'm just walking in like everybody wants my dick. No. No, it doesn't work like that. Like I'm like, okay, I see this woman, I like her, she's attractive. Okay, I want to talk to her. And then it's two of you. I mean, and you got a husband, now it's two against me. I got to figure out, is he going to be comfortable with me talking to his wife? Okay, there are some couples where I may be talking to her, we're talking to him, and then he's like, I don't like that guy. She might like me, but he don't like me, so now I'm out. So, it's sometimes, we're nervous too. With him, he's honest enough to put it out there, and he's right. He will get a laugh sometimes, but he'll get a laugh and a head shake because we're going, yeah, that is true. I do feel like that too, but I've got to be super macho and masculine because I don't want anybody to know that I'm experiencing the same thing. So like that's one of the things that I definitely love about that standpoint. And one of the things that I would like to do is at this point open it up for the people, the couples out there, because like I said before, there's two aspects to the development of the guys in our community. What we're talking about right now is the secondary aspect. The secondary aspect is learning from the guys next to you. Because I can tell him like, look, women do not like when, you lick their pussy. All right? Calm down, I know. And if I go to your house and you want me to lick it, then fuck what that guy said. That's what she liked, So the training is really from the couples and the conversation with the husbands, which is how we wind up having, couples who we are friends with. We talk to and we're close with them, if we vibe like that. The trust, the friendship. I have couples who I trust. My wife, go out of town, hang out with them, and we have these lifelong friendships. I mean, Mr. Minx came to my house, and I had stabbed one of his tires because I didn't want him to leave. We have our friendships that are tight like that. So as I'm looking at the couples in here, have you noticed, or are you aware of how strong your influence is on the development of the guys who you interact with? Like, couples, do you know how strong your influence is?
They're new.
Come on.
You guys,
If you want to speak, I'll come out.
They came from London.
I'm coming over. I'll bring it over. Because I say this, couples don't realize how powerful their influence is, especially where I constantly say this. The common misconception is you meet this great looking guy, he's fit, he's 26, oh, he's gonna fuck my wife, gonna love it. And this guy is fucking 26. He has no life experience, and you're like, these fucking bulls are shitty. No, this is your turn. This is your time to shine. Because you may be his first or second experience, because half the shit he says is bullshit, and he's telling you, oh yeah, I do this all the time. You gonna let me fuck your wife? Yeah, absolutely, I'm good at this. He has no idea what he's talking about. So when you start talking about or thinking about the influence, here's my question to you guys. When you first interact with the guy who you like, what's your expectation for communication? You hold that and you tell me.
What do you think?
I think for me, communication is so important. I think there's such a misconception, I think, with anything in the lifestyle that because if you're in the lifestyle together, that's it, you're going to meet each other and then you're just going to go and play. And that, for me, is not my expectation in the slightest. I have to talk to people. And if I don't feel a connection just through verbally talking, like similar interests and things, I will be out quite quickly. And I've had it where people will come up to me and just be like, oh, hi, what's your name? And I'll say it. And then they're like, right, should we go play? And I'm like, absolutely not. No, thank you. I can't just flick a switch and that's it.
I think it's important for us all to humanise each other, because I think so much of what we can do can become sort of transactional and puts people in the way where you are just another person in a line. But if we can actually look at each other as people and appreciate each other for our stories and our histories and our journeys, I think we can get so much more out of it. So when we talk to people who are new, that, you know, and you were right, Mr. Mocha, when you're talking about people coming up to us and, you know, they're worried too. They want to make a good impression on you, and you want to make a good impression on them, and you want to listen to them and hear their story and see what they're into and see if you're compatible. And sometimes you are compatible, and that's great, and sometimes you're not, and that's great too. And you've got to celebrate the fact that, you know, maybe we're not for you. You know, but there is someone here for you. That's, I think, the great thing we found.
And there's nothing wrong with being not for you. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But I tell you, the hard part about it, being a single male and coming to a party like this, it's really hard to find out who wants what. Like you just said, you like a little bit more of a connection. But then there's other girls that come here and they're like, I don't care. I need 15 guys right now to fuck me. Let's go up.
Let me see your
dick.
dick.
Doesn't matter. Hey, you. So there's a huge, you know, it's hard as a single male to come in this, even though we know what this party is like and everything, to navigate the waters and see what she likes and what she likes.
Well, in the UK, what's the saying, Secret Vixen? You say, we don't yuck.
Oh, you don't yuck other people's yums.
You don't yuck other people's yums. And if they're into something you're not into, that's okay. I think if you can establish what you're into and what you're looking for.
We were having a conversation only the other day about labels and how some people really don't like using labels. And I think that on entry point, having a label is actually really helpful, because you straight away can start to think, okay, so if that's their label, they're probably not into this, this, and this. So again, it's another conversation starter.
I think
they're good.
I judge people who don't like labels. I do. I judge the shit out of them.
Listen and we don't judge.
I listen and I judge, because if you don't like labels, what I'm gonna do is you're gonna eat your dinner, and I'm gonna put 2 containers down with a white substance with a shaker on it, and one's gonna be sugar and one's gonna be salt. Have at it. There's no labels.
As a starting point.
It's a starting point, and everything has a variation. Yeah. This is an SUV. Well, your Humvee and my, you know, Nissan Rogue are both SUVs, but they don't do the same shit. But we have a starting point, and then we add the variables. So I'm a huge fan of, yes, labels are important. To me personally, oftentimes the fear of labels, and I know people will judge me for saying this, but I've judged you first, that's okay. The fear of label to me is an indication of emotional weakness, because I need a starting point. Like, I need to know, like your cuck. This person is a cuck, but cuckolding goes from the mild to the extreme.
Very extreme.
However, this is what you identify as. You know, when we're talking about a couple who is a stag vixen couple, that gives me a place. Now, you are different in that, because now I at least know there is no aspect of humiliation that you enjoy. Okay, so those things are helpful to have that. But then when we look at what you just said, when we first got into the lifestyle, my wife was like, hey, I don't want to talk to him, bring him in, I want to fuck him. You're the only person I need to know. So as a single guy, when I say that couples get to educate the guys, so our task is to learn, when we come to you and start talking, when I was asking you about the knowing of how much you educate, when the guy walks up to you and goes, hey, you want to go fuck? Do you go, oh, fuck that guy, he's out? Or do you say, what do you do there?
So when that's kind of happened to me, I will often sort of say, well, why don't we actually speak first? Like, I will tend to sort of say, let's talk first, and then we'll see what happens.
And then talk first, then fuck later, maybe.
Yeah. But I think, and that's one thing I've been really, really impressed with here, is actually how respectful the guys have been when you have said no. Like, there hasn't felt like there's been any, like, animosity.
Agreed.
They're just like, okay, you have a good night, and then they'll go off. So haven't...
That comes back to what you guys said earlier about training and learning to be in this lifestyle, and understanding that sometimes it's going to be a no, and that's okay, and to deal with that in a respectful way. Of course, you've got to say no in a respectful way and move on. But yeah, understand to deal with that and move on. And yeah, there's someone for everyone, but not everyone is for you. And
right.
That sharp transition, So this is what's interesting about guys, like single guys who have experience. You know, there's the sharp transition. I come to you, I'm in an environment where like 4 of the ladies I talk to, they're okay, I want to talk. And then you meet the woman who doesn't want to talk, she wants to see your dick. And you're talking to her and it's like, you kind of see her, like she's trying to stick in there with you. Like clearly this guy needs a connection. And then the husband is a gentleman and be like, hey, you know, she really just wants to go upstairs. You're like, oh, okay, switch. So guys, as you know, the more the guys who are more experienced, or the guys who are more flexible, because you're gonna have some guys just like couples where my man 7, his thing is, look, I know what I want. I'm not interested in doing this or that. I'm interested in playing this way. So if the couple wants to just rush into it, I may not want that. You know, you have me where I'm like, I'm cool with either one. You know, so when I always speak about I'm gonna run back here, then I'm coming back to you.
I wanna just say something about labels real fast. Because you have a label, a preliminary label, as we kind of said, that doesn't mean that you're stuck in that box. No. You know, so now, like you said, you may be a couple, but that doesn't mean, so now I have to explore and see what in that realm of cuckoldry that you're in. So just because you are labeled as this doesn't mean you have to stay in that box.
The label is a compass.
You can be something different. You can figure out your journey throughout the time and update people, and then they'll treat you as such.
Yeah, because you're going to switch, and a label is very much a compass. If I'm like, hey, I want you to go here, and you're not willing, am I going north, south, east? Hey, I'm not into labels. I just need you to get to this. And you're not going to tell me if it's north, because it's really northeast. But it's north, right? Well, so that's when I say the labels give us a starting direction, and then you know the lifestyle is a fingerprint. The way you lifestyle, and the way you lifestyle, and the way you lifestyle, it's as unique as a fingerprint. But you know what? It's fucking fingerprint. There's a label. We know everybody's fingerprint is unique. Yeah. However, we all have one. So that gives me a direction to move in. So that's kind of where I'm saying when we're educating the guys, the couples, you guys educate us. Like when I got into the lifestyle 23 years ago, I learned from couples. Trial and error, one couple after another, figuring out what I'm doing wrong and them going, hey, that's not cool. The husbands, help us. Please help us. Because you know her. And you're a dude. You know what I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking. Help me, please. Like, don't be like, yeah, you just figured this out. It's 2 of y'all. Jump in there.
Yeah, as a single male in the lifestyle, I came up in Las Vegas. So I would see couples from all over the place, all over the country. And like you said earlier, it's a spectrum from what people want, all the way down from the, we just getting into it, all the way up to the nitty gritty, let's just go to the room. And one of the things that has helped me, I think what you were trying to say earlier, is just being able to read people. Some things are really obvious. I go to the bathroom, I come back, there's a fresh beer. Okay, I'm making headway here. Or, just this was just reading people, reading how things are going. And a lot of times, what I'm saying, if you see something, if you read something that's right, and you can make that adjustment right on the fly. And they're teaching you, but at the same time, you're just taking in what they're giving you. You're taking what the defense is giving you. Mm-hmm. That's my thought.
He played football.
Yeah. So I'm gonna challenge husbands. Do I have a husband who I can pick on? Now I found the husband that I want to pick on. I want to pick on him. And I'm gonna tell you why I want to pick on him, because there's this thing that I know, Mr. Minx and I know, and my wife has chided me for, where we go to a place and the guy looks at me and they're like, he's not approachable, so I'm not going to talk to his woman. And he's like, I brought her here. I want you to talk to her. But then he looks like he might be able to kill you. So you're like, let me find somebody easier. So I love when I see a guy like this. I'm like, oh yes, it's not just me.
So he looks like a beautiful lumberjack, if you guys are wondering.
That's the situation.
Like, I have no idea how he plays, and I'm looking and like, do I want to find out? Like, his wife is attractive, and I like, she's got a nice smile, but he's over there like, but that was me. Like, so that was me. So my question to you, can I?
Yes, sir.
So my question to you, when you're in this environment, and this is one of my greatest debates with other guys. And actually, the last podcast, I got into trouble for this because I said it's the husband's responsibility, especially if he's a scary looking dude with tattoos and a great beard, by the way. You're doing good there. You're doing good. Yeah. So if you know that you're intimidating, because as men, we know when we look intimidating. How do you go about making sure she has a good time at this type of event?
It's hard. She sometimes wants to be pushed, and sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes I'll make the approach. I'm trying to figure out guys at the same time. So it's very situational. Yeah, I have been told I'm scary more than once. But we're Stag Vixen, and I run into the same thing, trying to get my own at parties, and people don't want to approach me. I don't know. How do I deal with it?
I don't know, but you end up making a lot of friends. And you chat with these guys that we end up becoming friends with sometimes more than I do. And you're like, let's plan a hunting trip. Next thing you know, I'm serious. He has...
Yeah, I tend to fit in easy pretty much anywhere.
Once I guess you get stop being scared of him.
Yeah. Well, you know why? I'm going to tell you this from man code. This is man language. A man can be one or two things. When you're a scary looking dude, you can make people feel safe or you can scare them. It's only two different things. There's one or the other. You know, one of my favorite people, I always pick on Mr. Minx. Mr. Minx is one of the most formidable human beings I know. But he's always smiling, he's always happy, so he makes people feel safe. If he switches that, he's a completely different human. No one knows, because he always makes them feel safe. My first time here, Demetri came up to me and was like, dude, you look like fucking security. Your wife never gonna give you dick. like literally, that's it. You know, Dre, big dude, beard, always pushing me around. But you see him out there, he's got a big smile on his face. And so like that to me is always interesting. Like when I see the husbands, I'm like, what do you do? Like me? I just go and I talk to all of the guys. I talk to every dude. I become the mayor. And then they're like, because it's going to happen. Now we're out hunting. We're shooting together. We're doing all this stuff. And my wife's the same way. She's like, why are you friends with all the guys I fuck? I don't know. We're just cool. But when I first meet them, they're like, hey, am I going to be good fucking you in the house with him upstairs? Like, what am I going to do? Like, I invited you here. Like, I'm not going to bite your face off.
So a lot of these guys are awesome.
Boom.
Going back to the whole conversation you're having about honesty and these are the conversations that you used to have with your boys back in college about whose ass was the best and what you wanted to do and what happened last Thursday and it did not go well. What am I going to do next time? Except now I can have it with adult friends about people I care about, and you just don't get that other places.
So, any other husbands willing to jump in and say something? Because my other question is, well, I'm going to come to Mr. East Coast first.
Yeah, I want to say something. So one thing I've learned coming to Splash is I intentionally pick out the brand new people and the husbands that look unapproachable. The reason why, and the reason why is because when you approach those people, you know no other guy's going to approach them. I know my qualities. I'm going to make you feel comfortable. I'm going to make you feel safe. But the other thing is, and I'm letting out my secret, but when that person decides that they do want to play, who are they going to pick out? Me. The first person that... Besides Dre.
He was waiting, yeah.
That couple's going to look for the person that made them feel comfortable. that made them feel safe, that approached them with that respect. Now, do all guys do that? No. I do that intentionally, like I said. I want you to feel, but I know that I'm going to give you a great experience. Whether we have sex or not, I'm going to give you a great experience. I'm going to set that bar so high that when you go talk to that next guy, you're going to be like, dude, where did you come from? So use that to an advantage as a single guy. Because you know that no other guy's going to do it. So take advantage of it.
So my question for couples who are, if you're shy, if you're quiet, if you don't speak a lot, that's where I'm always like, that's where often, like the scary guy, I'm comfortable with the scary dudes. I'm
scary though.
Because yeah, I see them and I'm like, okay, cool. There's a good chance because man code is man code. I can see a dude and I know I can go up there and talk to him, laugh with him. We can have a good time. The really shy people, those are the ones that I have the hardest time with because I'm like looking like, do they want to be here? Do they not want to be here? So my question is this. I know you're not shy, but having a shy wife, all right, if a guy is interested in your wife and you know that because she seems a little shy, you know that guys are going to be nervous, do you step up and talk to guys or do you just kind of push her out there? Like, what's your thing?
There's a little bit of caveat too because they are still. Now I'm not sure about your journey from when we talked. Was it
in March?
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah. But it's usually the newer couples are usually the shyer ones.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about their journey from then to now as far as how much they've played and done different things. But
We met some great friends who helped us along the way.
She was very excited. She was very, very, very excited to come here. So
and coming back means
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm actually the shy one. I'm more the introvert. She's the social butterfly. And for this guy, he gave both of us feedback that we really appreciated when we first met him. But yeah, she does probably 99% of the interaction with single men, and I just support her with a smile. But I may look like I'm more of an extrovert, but I'm more the quiet one. She's the one who just loves the connection and loves the atmosphere of just meeting new people, couples, single guys. So she's the one who's the more talkative one.
I am, but I think that I love people. I am a people person. I will talk to anyone and try to get to know them. When it comes to like believing that they are interested in me, that's where I clam up because I'm like, they're just being kind. Like that's my thing, and that's where I like kind of like shut down a little bit on myself.
So going back to, I mean, and this is kind of what I wanted to ask too, though. Going back to the community side of things. So again, this is your second splash. You started out in March, and I'm not sure of what you have done from March to now, lifestyle-wise. But how has that community been different outside of Splash as opposed to inside of Splash?
So these guys were great. We were referred to them by a Splash guy before we came to Splash. And they kind of live locally to us, so he's like, you should really hook up with them and get to know them. They can give you some great advice. So we did that. They weren't at our Splash in Atlanta, but afterwards they checked in and were like, how did you like it? And would you like to come do this with us? Which was amazing, and we can't thank them enough for that experience. So just making the connections is starting to hit. The connections, like even reaching out to you on Telegram, I'm like, he's gonna think I'm a weirdo, even though he's the biggest weirdo. He's gonna think I'm a weirdo.
She knows you well. I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
He's the biggest weirdo.
Yeah.
We've already met. I can confirm he is the biggest.
Yes. I too am going to second that.
He's got a big foot.
In a good way.
So
And one follow-up in terms of community. There's also the community of husbands. So
Yes.
English brother. You know.
Yes.
My wife introduced me to another podcast of similar husbands, and I don't know if you had said it, but like there's always still like the self-doubt about like, why do I like this? Like, why am I wired this way? And to meet other gentlemen who are wired that way was really helpful. So this community, and I know she also has a community of sisters that they chat, and I think that's the part that I really like about this lifestyle. It's just a community around helping each other.
Absolutely.
So I quickly want to go into the wired, and I know this is the things about community, and at the end of the day, the community does make us feel better about how we are all wired. I think the thing is, it's not about how we are wired, it's the fact that we're telling the truth about the way we're wired, where more people are wired the exact same way. Because if we do look at history, we understand that 200 years ago, the way people lived life, and 200 years before that, and 200 years before that, was a lot more honest because there weren't very many people around. It was literally just their small community.
As far back as you go.
As far back as you go.
As far back as you can go.
Now we're in a situation to where we are all interconnected by something they call the internet. So now we're realizing that, and we're living in bigger tribes and villages and states and whatever than ever before. So instead, they're the perception of how people should live versus how they actually live. And then it's always a shocker when you find out, oh my God, this senator's wife likes to get fucked by black guys. And it's like, oh, we're so surprised.
Yeah.
Like, and we even play it out in our normal lives, right? Like, it's that aspect of it, the fact that we understand because we actually live it, but we're just being honest about it, and we get to be honest in this community about it and feel as if we're not judged. I'm a person who my mother knows that I do things like this because I just don't care. Right? I'm using my real name, Andre is saying. I'm not going to say my last name, but like at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with who I actually am. And I understand that I'm also in a position to feel that way because of what I do for a living and who I am and how I live my normal life. If I was in a different situation, if I was stayed in DC where I'm from, and I would have done the government job, then maybe I wouldn't have been in the position to be able to say what I feel about life and be able to give out these information of details. It's not that we're wired wrong, it's we're wired to then be honest about how we feel, and then found people in our lives that will also be honest about that, and now we found a community that we can have those experiences with.
Yeah, I mean, we are wirely absolutely correctly. I think, me and Mr. Minx, when we get into our nerd sessions and we start talking about psychology and start looking at different things, human behavior, you start understanding, like, even in the concept of cuckolding, one of the things that entertained me to no end is the percentage of people who are non-lifestyle when they do like parent gene testing. They usually use like like Norwegian people, because throughout the rest of society, the amount of men who are raising somebody else's child who had no idea is huge. Like, I think it was like over 35% or something like that of who never know. So the things that we openly speak about and we openly do, like, is so natural that it's mind-boggling. So I think that's probably one of my favorite things when we're talking to people and we start having that, because that's the biggest conversation I have with husbands. Every stag husbands, cuck husband, hot wife husbands, and I'm very much a hybrid. Like, I love watching my wife get fucked. No question. Like, everybody knows, I make no secret of it. When my wife's getting fucked downstairs, I got a vent under the kitchen table. It's very inconvenient. Very inconvenient, but I like to get down there and listen to it.
Or you just wait outside.
I'll stand outside the door. Like, my friends, like, people who know that, they're like, dude, how are you and like that don't bother you? Because I'm fucking me and it don't bother me. Like, I like it. Like, I'm not going to psychoanalyze why the things that was done in the Bible. Like, the Bible speaks of this. I mean, the Roman Empire, every piece of history that we can find speaks of this. So it feels like, I mean, it's not like an anomaly. We're just honest about it. So for me, I don't psychoanalyze why I like something. Usually, people will spend years in the lifestyle fighting their desires. They will spend years within the lifestyle fighting their desires. And the good thing about community is you can talk to him, he can talk to him, you can talk. And then all of a sudden we realize, wait,
we all do the same shit. Like, this is not weird. Like, my wife was a school teacher, and she thinks like this. You know, you have people in law enforcement, you have people in government. There's literally people like that I know who are in the government. They're very private about it, but this is what they do. So I think community helps us remove the poison in our head in the concept of going to war with yourself. Do you realize how miserable you are when you're forced to go to war with your own desires? The world kicks my ass every day, and I'm at home going, oh my God, why am I turned on when some dude is fucking my wife? Man, I'm a fucking weirdo. And I'm at home like, I'm turned on while no conflict. I mean, now my kids might give me conflict. My wife might give me conflict, but I'm gonna tell you one person that's not gonna give me conflict, not this guy. The only thing that I want to be able to do, and I've done over the years, is I talk to other guys and other couples and women and start listening to the things that they're into. And all of a sudden, it's more enjoyable because I can sit back and bask. Even the things that I'm not into, I can bask in the fact that you like something I don't like, and I don't judge you for it. That's what the community does.
Again, it goes back to like what you was just saying. It goes back to what you have always. I mean, the lifestyle community, as big as what we think it is, it's still very small in comparison to the world and even this country. So there's always a battle of what we like is going to be different from what society sees and is telling us is wrong. Because again, you've been taught from the time you were able to walk that monogamy is the way. This is what you should be doing. This is everything is planned out for you. So when you deviate from that, again, it's like we feel that there may be something wrong with the way we think.
Mm-hmm.
And how we
vanilla society, the most commonly talked about thing is us when we were younger, finding our dad's porn collection,
yeah.
You know, our uncle's porn collection. Yeah. Like the porn industry is a it's $1 billion documented, not the undocumented shit. Like, who's buying this shit? Like just us? No, you know. So that to me is the thing that is the beauty of us being able to enjoy what we enjoy, the way we enjoy it. And that's the thing, like the community to me constantly encourages us as a community to not get hung up on the why do I like, as opposed to let me find other like-minded, let me encourage. You know, I like this environment. My wife, his wife, have always been very, very strong advocates for giving women the freedom that we as men have. You know, I remember in the very beginning when they first started to use the term slut sister and slut tribe and things like that, it was them saying, hey, this is a word. They used that word, and the reason they did is because my wife's thing was, if a dude calls a dude a slut, what do? We laugh. Yeah, it's a fist bump. If a dude's like, bro, you're a slut, we laugh. But if a woman gets called a slut, there's a whole lot of, oh, well, it's not what you, and there's a lot of defending. My wife was like, fuck that. Why can't I have it? That's how that began with her, the concept of why should I be ashamed of doing something that you can do?
The crazy thing about it too, though, is we may applaud another dude for his sexual exploitations, and especially before he got into the lifestyle. And she's labeled as a slut or a whore, and it's negative. But who the fuck are they fucking? Yeah. Who are they doing those sexual exploits with? Yeah. You know, I mean, so we're celebrated because of our sexual conquest, but she's demeaned because of hers. But again, who are the guys having sex with?
Mm-hmm. And that's one of my favorite things about the community. Before we wrap it up, is there any other couples who would like to speak? I see you guys are smiling back there. You're welcome to speak.
I love the
Chime
international
in.
flavor too, because we got London here, we got Italy there. You know, it's a worldwide community.
You know, sometimes I'd like to talk. One of these days, I'd like to talk about being the wife of a bull.
Yeah.
That's a totally different kind of life than most wives that are in the lifestyle. Most wives that are here, and very interesting thing that you have to navigate.
Yeah.
Being a wife who is married to a bull.
Very nice. Very nice. You have to meet my wife because that's us.
I'd like to talk to her.
That is us.
I would like to talk to her.
Very good topic.
Yeah, and so one of the big reasons that I did speak on community today is like a lot of the guys have been we've had a lot of conversation about the fact that after all the years and the stuff that we've learned and the things that we've experienced, like my wife and I within our small community, we're constantly talking to people. We have people email us, call us, talk to us. The reason we originally started the podcast was to offer assistance. But there's a lot of other people who have experiences who can actually help. When it comes to creating quality guys, and my challenge has always been when it comes to guys, I always say, when you're mentoring guys, a woman cannot mentor a guy by telling him how to be a guy. However, female interaction is everything. So me talking to you and a guy hearing our feedback, hearing the feedback with women, them being able to watch the way the male-female interaction works is how we learn. And then having guys who's gone through it, who's experienced it, because a lot of us as men, we become better men from our wives. Our wives make us, because before there was my wife, I was this guy. After my wife, my sisters, everybody's like, man, she's made you a much better person. Like, what the fuck does that mean? I know what it means, but she got rid of some of those edges. She changed a lot of perspectives that somebody else couldn't change. So now, the difference with us experienced men, Mr. Minx, who, you know, all of the guys who have these conversations, and we learn that we have to navigate the world differently with our wives in the lifestyle. Your knowledge is power if you want to teach guys how to navigate the lifestyle and be better men. And then on the opposite side of that is the guys, we train the couples we play with. We train the couples we play with by being honest and saying, hey, I know I'm a very direct human, so I don't usually have an issue with it. But I always say oftentimes couples make bad bulls, and bad bulls mess up good couples. You know, because you have this couple who will tell this guy, well, if you're going to be in my life and our lives, you got to do this, 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 and this. And then he goes to other couples and they're like, dude, I've been that guy. Like, bro, first of all, calm down. You don't own my wife. We don't play that game. You don't own my wife. You can't get my wife commands or demands. It doesn't work that way. Because he didn't come to me first and see what the rules were. As opposed to couples who are like, hey, this is what we want. And so that's where the education, when we're talking, if this is our title, but this is our fingerprint, this is what we like. And then me being able to have a conversation with you and this guy going, oh, that's a hell of a perspective. Talking to you, man, that's a hell of a perspective. Women, the interaction with women is what train guys, and guys, by talking, train guys. And so going forward, that's one of the things that we want to try to do is have more female interaction. We've got a female therapist who's going to jump in and start talking, you know, a very emotionally mature woman who's in the lifestyle, who's active in the lifestyle. We've got a psychiatrist who's in the lifestyle. And my favorite thing about her is this. You'd never know she was a psychiatrist if you saw her in this environment.
She's a dirty girl.
But that is, to me, the epitome of female power within the lifestyle. Because you have a lot of the ladies in the lifestyle who they're still stuck with the social norms. I've got to prove to you, I'm smart. I'm really smart. I've got a degree in this. Hey. If you have to throw that at me in a place where you're trying to be fuckable, you're still fighting yourself. Because dudes don't have to do that. Most of the guys who come in here, you have no idea how much money they make, what kind of career they have. I'm talking to a guy out there who's a physician you would have never known. Because society doesn't make you see our brain first. My wife, her joke is people think I'm dumb as shit. My wife is very smart. She does a job that's way smarter than mine. But here, she's like, I much rather people think I'm dumb than people guess what I do because I'm trying so hard for them to see me as something different. That doesn't mean that you want to be objectified because we always want to be humanized. But society's forcing you to prove that I'm not this. Well, this ain't the environment. You know, I don't have to prove that I can play hockey when I'm at the beach. I can ice skate. Great. Talk to me in the wintertime. So that's kind of the things that, one of the things that I'm looking forward to more. And after we get out of here, I would love anyone here, the ladies and the gentlemen, the husbands, the bulls, the single guys who are willing to jump into the podcast and interact and partake, you know, share just a piece of your experiences, yourselves, your thoughts, because the collection of those thoughts will start creating a blueprint for guys. From the female perspective, super important. And then husbands, when we get on there and we talk about who am I as a stag? Who am I as a cuck? Who am I as for me, like I said, I'm a hybrid. I'm a whatever feels good type of person. Like, I don't have it feels right now, that's who I am. You know what I mean? And that to me was my ultimate goal, not to be hung up somewhere and not doing a thing, not because I didn't want to do it, but because I'm like, man, Craig might judge me if he finds out that I let my wife, or Craig might judge me if he finds out that I be listening to the floor under the table. You know, once I got past that thing, I feel like, to me, I stepped to a different level. And my goal is to put everybody, to give everybody a path to that comfort. So before we close it out, I'm going to pass it to the guys to tell them where Mr. Minx for sure is he is my one of my sounding boards. When somebody says I've been a dick, I call him, because he'll tell me if I was. If I'm trying to get some emotional, if I have a question, like my wife is like, hey, you're too hard about this subject, I'll call him, because my friends have no mercy on me at all whatsoever. Because of how I am, the guys who I deal with, there is no mercy, no timeout. They're going to be direct. And I've always said, if I have friends who aren't on my wife's side, they're not my fucking friends. And if all of my wife's friends are on her side, they're not her friends. You know, so most of our friends, my guys, will be like, yeah, you're being a bit of a dick. And I'll go back to my wife like, apparently I was being a dick. I'm sorry. You know, so Mr. Minx.
Yeah, I'm on X, Chris Minx 23. If you're on that, Instagram, me everywhere you can find me, Chris Minx 23, and I'll guest appearances frequently on the O-Face podcast.
I want none of these things. You guys have fun.
You'll be able to get with him, because if you email in and have questions for Andre, I'll get him in touch. He does mentoring here accidentally. I
get pulled into everything.
He gets pulled into things.
100%.
He has trouble saying no.
Yes. You see, I just said yes.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
And he has no problem. Stepping up and just kind of, we have this thing where do the right thing.
Yep.
You know, so that's why he's off and in, and obviously, Mr. East Coast here is
on almost everything. I am Miss MISS DA East Coast. OnlyFans is the only thing that's different. I'm Craig McKinney. But hey, I just want to make a little observation. Just want to make a little observation, man. This dude, I love. He's a good dude, but We gonna have to find a way to get you some bigger T-shirts, man.
Absolutely not.
This motherfucker.
No,
look
sir.
at this shit. Fucking
No, sir.
Arnold Schwarzenegger
No.
walking around this joint with.
If you can't see my heart, the shirt's too loose. Okay.
His wife buys him big. He just has an extra hot dry sample.
I mean, you either gotta stop lifting or get some bigger shirts, man.
If a sneeze don't threaten busting a stitch, it is too loose. Okay? All right. And Candy Licker, I forget that. I make sure I get the right name. One of my favorite things is the questions that he asks and the honesty, the emotional part. Because he asks questions and he asks me questions and I challenge him, but he asks me questions and bring up things that makes me think. You know, as dudes, we're taught to shove that shit down. You know, oh, you feeling some kind of emotionally? Deal with it. The one thing I like about him is he just kind of exposes it. He strips it. You know, there's no question that he won't ask or no emotional challenge that he won't present. And a lot of those things are things that we as dudes don't really say out loud because it's just not who we are. We have this female conversation about, well, ladies, you know, you got to learn to get rid of societal norms. And then, you know, as soon as we wind up in a situation, you know, we resort to being fucking Neanderthals because we're supposed to be. Oh, that's fine. Just walk it off. No. So Candy Licker, I'm gonna call you CO because I'm gonna call you CO. I feel so dirty every time I say Candy Licker. You know what I'm saying? But
I want to find candy though.
you want to find Candy? Look at that.
I give great tongue massages. I'm sorry, that's just my forte. I'm on a Splash Mocha site. I'm at every Splash. I'm just a human being. I'm vulnerable. I'm scared. I'm honest. I'm open. I'm everything. And I challenge all the guys out there and all the couples. Be vulnerable. You have nothing to lose. I've been to probably 18 splashes. There's probably thousands of couples that I have not seen naked, or I shouldn't say, I've seen them naked, I just haven't been in them while they were naked, but they still treat me like a human being. We still can have a conversation, we still know each other, and it's fun, it's great. But yes, I am human, I'm vulnerable, and even some of the couples will tell you the same thing. I open up to them too. I have no fear, so enjoy, and thanks for coming.
Thank you guys for joining us. And like I said, we're definitely gonna be talking, chatting. I'm gonna hopefully get to chat with everybody else who's here, you know, because we love the different perspective and we want to invite you guys to you know, be a part of us in the future. So until next time.
And come by the dungeon tonight.
Yeah, swing by.
Come and see me in the dungeon. 10 o'clock. I'll open it up. Come and see me.
He's good. Take a peek. Go experience it. You know, he'll flog your wife a little bit. You know, he'll give her the flogging that you've been wanting to give her for years. I'm joking. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And until next time, we'll see you on the next episode of Old Faces.